Storm Team.
Welcome back to KX News at 10. I'm meteorologist Michael Gonzalez, and just starting off with a little bit of a public service announcement. We do have another year of daylight saving time coming to an end, so those clocks are going to be shifting back an hour here at about 2 a.m. tonight. So if you're a big 1 a.m. fan, we have good news because we are going to have two 1 a.m.s tonight. We're going to be going from 1:59 a.m. Central Daylight Time to 1 a.m. Central Standard Time, or Mountain Daylight Time to Mountain Standard Time, depending on which time zone you're in. So we are going to have basically an extra hour of sleep tonight, essentially, but unfortunately that does mean that the sunsets are going to be a little bit on the earlier side. So this is what sunset times are going to be looking like tomorrow afternoon, generally in the 5 to 5:30 o'clock hour for eastern North Dakota, and over in the mountain time zone 4:30 to 5 p.m. We'll zoom in just a little bit on our local area to see what we're going to be dealing with for those sunset times tomorrow. Bismarck about 5:25 p.m. Williston will be the latest across our entire region with 5:33 p.m. But unfortunately, if you are over in the mountain time zone, 4:33 p.m. is what you're going to be looking at there in Dickinson, and McLaughlin, South Dakota will have the earliest sunset time tomorrow in our area at 4:27 p.m. And of course, it will continue to get darker and darker as the winter rolls on, but just something to look forward to if you enjoy those longer nights and the chilly nights. Temperatures right now are really not too bad considering it's already 10:15 p.m. Yesterday, a lot of our highs looked like they were in this region right around 40 degrees. In fact, 45 up there in Minot. The temperature is expected to generally hold out right around this range for much of the evening with some southwesterly winds across the region. Still 50 degrees out there at Wolf Point as well. And this is because we have a little clipper system that's going to be drifting off to our north tonight. We can in fact see some influence of it right now with these high clouds drifting off across the Highway 2 corridor and over towards the international border. I'll zoom us out just a little bit to see where that system is over there in Saskatchewan. It's making really quick movement off to the east. It'll be over in Manitoba here pretty shortly, but we're going to remain well to the south of this warm front with these southerly winds and southwesterly winds coming off the Rocky Mountains that'll help keep temperatures generally mild tonight. Unfortunately, because it'll be passing to our north in the overnight hours, it's not really going to make the high temperatures terribly warm tomorrow, but it will keep the overnight lows fairly mild. And in fact, temperatures might even rise somewhat from where they are right now across at least parts of the northern regions ahead of the cold front that will move in tomorrow. So tomorrow, by the time we get to the morning hours, we might still be hanging around the upper 30s, perhaps some lower 40s. And in fact, 39 there might not be, maybe a little bit cooler than it actually is tomorrow, just because those temperatures might rise just a little bit by the time we get into tomorrow. And once we hit Sunday morning into the afternoon hours, we're going to see that cold front associated with that clipper system blow through really quickly, and that's going to make the winds kick up quite a bit by the time we get to Sunday afternoon. Fortunately, there's not a huge substantial cold air mass behind this cold front, so it will still remain on the fairly mild side tomorrow afternoon. We'll see this reflected on the planner. We might be up to near 60 degrees there by 12 p.m. and it'll cool off a little bit once that cool front rolls through, maybe about mid 50s, 54 or so by the time we get to 4 p.m. roughly, but it is going to be a fairly mild day, at least compared to what we've been dealing with the last couple days, and those winds are going to be kind of breezy there, gusting perhaps 40 to 50 miles per hour in a few locations, especially by the time we get to say Sunday 12 p.m. in the early afternoon hours as that cold front rolls through. Gusts again perhaps reaching up to 50 miles per hour. And the high temperatures across the region are generally going to be in the low to even some mid 60s possible there across southwestern and south central North Dakota, with around 60 to upper 50s possible in the far north. And looking ahead for the rest of the next couple of days, we're going to see a fairly stable pattern. The jet stream nearly west to east, what we call zonal, and that'll keep temperatures just about where they should be for this time of year, which is low 50s, perhaps even a few degrees above normal. And by the middle of the week, we'll have a weak ridge push through that should help temperatures get at least a little bit warmer into the mid to upper 50s by, say, Thursday roughly. So here's what Williston's next 5 days are looking like. 60 degrees tomorrow, then we cool off towards those seasonal averages, lower 50s, and then mid 50s to upper 50s possible again by later in the week. In Dickinson, just about the same. We roll the clocks back, 64 for the high tomorrow, perhaps a little cloudy there on Tuesday, but otherwise pretty mild for this time of year with highs there in the mid 50s. Just about the same for Minot, with some mostly cloudy conditions expected Tuesday, and rain chances potentially returning by the time we approach next weekend, although it is a little bit far out at this point. In Bismarck, pretty much the same with highs there in the mid 50s as we start next work week, and then potentially cooling off as we approach next weekend. Tyler?
Michael, you're going to be a great dad someday with your dad jokes. 2 1 a.m.s. I mean, so those 1 a.m. fans are going to be ecstatic.
I know. People are going to love it. I mean, I think I might stay up just to see the clock go from 1:59 to 1 a.m. That's fun stuff.
So you're a part of that community.
Oh, yeah.
fans.
I am a 1 a.m. fan.
You got me, Michael. That's too funny.
Email us if you guys are fans out there, too, of 1 a.m.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. Coming up next in sports.